Hey folks, this is Billy from Dank Wargaming,
Hey, this is Heath with Team Table War Hawaii.
and once again we are joined by the wonderful, fantastically awesome first son of the First Legion, Adam Camilleri. Welcome.
First son of the First Legion. That's a new one. I like that
Yeah.
I
one.
like
Actually.
it. I didn't
I'll
see
take
that
it.
coming. That's a good moniker.
I'll get
Yep,
tattooed on my chest. First of the first.
Yeah.
exactly.
People
I'll take it.
start calling you Corswain. That's good.
Ooh, he's one of my favorite sons. Although I have decided to play Trader Dark Angels in Horus Heresy.
Oh,
I'm playing
Interesting.
Luther.
Okay.
I'm gonna model up a little Luther. It's gonna be sick.
Nice.
All right. Cool.
And we're going to welcome you to the Path of Redemption after that. Because we got to get you back onto the loyalist side now. Welcome to the Path of Redemption,
They're all
the Warhammer 40,000 Dark Angels podcast, where our aim is to provide Dark Angels players with the tactical and hobby skills they need to stop being traitors and enjoy this wonderful hobby of ours. In today's episode, this is our June episode. We're going to look at some of the new Horus Heresy releases for Dark Angels that could be used one way or the other. So it's kind of fun. You get two armies in one when you play Dark Angels. Oh, did I also mention we're getting ready to get a new codex, since we're on that path already, right? Chaos Space Marines book comes out next week. Yeah, I went there. It happened. And
There's
then in Metawatch,
there's a lot of listeners are gonna rage quit when you, but that's fine. We're saying, why would you say something so controversial and yet so brave?
because we're the first and we're very brave. No fear, fearless.
Yeah.
First company. So in Metawatch, we're going to take a look at some of the final Nockman events where Adam he's on the list. He got third place, and he's going to give us a little breakdown of sort of the end of the Nockman season. And in our featured segment, we're going to talk about the new season, Nephilim, which, it's named after one of our wonderful models that didn't get a points change, sadly, from what I saw. So I don't know if we'll see it on the board anymore, but hey, it's named after us, right? And that's sort of got a bunch of new. We got a a balance sheet, points changes, and new missions and secondaries.
Just
so
everything, just everything,
yeah, everything.
So
all the changes. Heath and I have a Horus Heresy monthly hobby challenge we need to talk about, and then we're gonna hear what you had to say on the last episode in our community interaction section. So, new releases. All right, this weekend we had, as of we're recording this, yesterday the new GT book came out. So we're in the new season, this new format of 40K, where every couple months, like every 6 months, we're getting a new GT book. So it's $30, and this one's a little bit cheaper than the last one. And that's because there isn't a second book with the points, because points were free. So that was a nice little gift in this month.
Were you able to get a copy of this down there in Oz, Adam?
Yeah, it's available here in Australia. I think I haven't got one.
So there was like, I think 2 copies of this book showed up on the island of Oahu, and I didn't get one. So I've got some.
Fair.
I made arrangements so I know what the stuff is, but yeah, like our shipment was late. Yeah, we have one of this local game stores is running a Welcome to Nephilim tournament today, and everyone's like, I don't know what the secondaries are.
What?
So kind of awkward.
Huh?
Yeah.
Yes, it's pretty awkward.
Good value for $30 because you get all the secondaries for every faction.
Yep.
Yeah.
And apparently there's rules in it too, like with the rules update. So that's so convenient little thing. You don't got to carry your big rule book around.
Yeah. And then some upcoming releases, some pre-orders that are coming out soon. You can get the 2 characters from the Betrayal at Calleth, the Terminator Praetor and the Chaplain for $55. That's going up on pre-order. The Mark 6 Tactical Squad's up for $80. And then some other preview things that we've seen. There's a Plastic Contemptor around the corner. There are some new contrast paints coming out, and then there are some made-to-order Dark Angel shoulder pads for Heresy, as well as a Horus Heresy upgrade sprue with heads and stuff. So there's
that sounds nice.
Some stuff coming out. So stuff that's out now, some stuff to look forward to, and we'll get you some prices on that new stuff when the time comes. So moving on to our Meta Watch. In addition to Adam playing, I played in a singles event at the end of Nockmund here. 0-3. Was fantastic. So 3rd place and 0-3. But the big key here for people at home that I'd like you to get from this is I had my handy dandy notebook with me, and because I had this, I went back and looked at like the last time because one guy I played in the last tournament, so I went and looked what I did the last tournament. Went, oh yeah, this was dumb. I'm not doing that again. And I actually like really significant, like 15-20 points per game on average, more points in this tournament because I was looking back at my old
Nice.
information. So I was a lot happier with the way things went.
Yeah, that's a big thing. Like I think a lot of people look at like the list that springs fully formed from Dick Nanavati's mind and don't realize the work that went in behind there to get it. Like, yeah, so you can't just show up with the toolbox full. Like if you have a garage full of tools, that doesn't mean you know how to build a table. So you got to do the work behind the scenes to get it there.
Yeah. And I think there used to be an ITC app that kept track of a lot of that stuff for you. Like you could keep
There is. And it's great. The
still...
ITC Battles app, fantastic.
All right, still good.
Awesome. Yeah. So I have an Android tablet, and you can link it to BCP or Down Under pairings, and it'll keep track of everything. It has all my history of everything, so I can go back and look at win percentages versus various factions versus various players, what secondaries I took, what the lists were, and you can actually report tournament scores through it too, because you link it to your BCP into an event, it'll actually report through that as well. So it's pretty cool. What's your perspective on this, Adam?
I'm absolutely all about it. I've got a little notebook that I take with me everywhere to all my events, and I've also got I do have ITC battle laps on my phone as well, and so I keep that up to date a lot of the time. I pretty much just ask my opponent. I usually like the paper and then put it into ICT battles later if I want to keep the game because there was like a learning point in it or something I want to jog my memory on. Like if I took a unique set of secondaries I hadn't taken before and I want to be able to like exactly what you did, mate. Be able to refresh my mind on what I got last time I took those secondaries against this matchup. I can be like, okay, I really struggled versus this guy. I played him before, or I played this archetype, this kind of list.
Yeah.
For the longest time, I couldn't beat Drukhari. I couldn't freaking beat Drukhari with Dark Angels, because they were just like, cool. I walk up. Cool. I didn't make combat this turn. Cool. I walk up, eaten by Incubi. Dead. It's over. So I started tracking all those games to figure out what combination of secondaries got me the closest, at least.
That's a good call.
Yeah, because remember, success teaches nothing; only failure teaches. Yeah. So just analyze where you're at, and then that'll get you there. So,
all right, Adam. So what about this third place finish? We got your list here. Give us the rundown.
Okay.
Oh, this.
Okay, so
bad link.
I went to. Are we good?
Well, we got yeah. I think he's saying the link in the chat is bad, but I mean we got the man here. So tell us what you got.
So I went to it was 3 weeks ago now. I went to an event called Terracon, which I was lucky enough to win at the end of 7th edition with Guard, but it was before my Dark Angels days. And I came third. It was just under 100 players, I believe. 6 rounds. A monster. Very happy with the showing.
Yeah,
it's a
big event.
Good sized event. And I took my usual Deathwing Ravenwing hybrid, which I've been kind of all in on for quite some time now. I never liked until the new Nephilim book. I've never really wanted to go either all in one way or the other. Personally, I never wanted to go all in on Deathwing. I found it far too boring. I played it for a couple of teams events when the book first came out, and I was just a snooze fest. So, but you guys want to hear what I took?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So this is an Outrider and a Vanguard. Starts off in the Outrider with our ubiquitous Arbiter's Gaze Talonmaster. Sometimes I take this guy with Rights of War or a Wooler trait. I wanted more CP in this, so just ubiquitous Arbiter's Gaze boy. 2x3 OBSEC bikes, stock standard, nothing else to see there, just for a bit of disruption play. 3 Storm Speeder Thunderstrikes.
Yeah.
I remember
how you boys feel about these.
I remember you talking about this last time you came on the show, and you said that you liked the Storm Speeders. And I want to say, why the Thunderstrikes and not the Hammer Strikes? Why the Laz over the Melta?
Because they're Ballistic Skill 2+ base.
Okay.
Not a lot of people know this, but the Hammer Strike is 3+ and needs to be a lot closer to do its damage. The Thunder Strike is 2+ and can be right at the back of the board. So the reason I like them better is they have less shots and they're less damage overall, because they're all D6 damage shots rather than the nice D6 +2s and whatnot. But I get to do that damage turn 1 from the back of the board safely, so I can just use them to scoot from ruin to ruin to get an angle and not get much reprisal. And they're just amazing. As soon as you're Ravenwing them up with an invulnerable save, they're so good. They're such good value. Advancing them turn 1, still hitting on 3s when you advance them turn 1.
Oh yeah.
Because instead of going,
all right,
big deal. It's actually a big deal. And then when they degrade, they're at half profile. You just sit still, and 4-up invulnerable if they try and shoot you, and you hit on twos and hit on twos again.
Yep.
Okay.
Like it's actually really, really good value. And then 2 Dark Talons.
Yeah.
Love it.
It rounds out that Outrider.
Love it.
Took them both,
Love
and
it.
I will tell you, they have never felt better.
Oh, that's
So
good.
I'll tell you why this list is in this configuration as well in a minute. I've got my Vanguard. Now this is being led by what I called the Super Denial Libby. So I took a Super Libby. I took him with the Neural Shard relic.
Yep.
So he denies 2 powers at 24 inches with +1. So his Psychic Hood extends for the full deny range. So denies 2. And then I even took him with... So I took the Fights Last, Turn Off Obsec, and I actually took the -1 attack and -1 to hit aura off him. Because I had a couple of people in particular.
I have found myself saying a couple times, man, I wish I had this, especially if he's going to sit in the middle of a bunch of Terminators. So, yeah.
Bunch of Terminators, exactly. I got a mate named Matt Morrisoli, who's an extremely powerful player, and he was playing 3 units of 60 possessed, so 3 units of 20 possessed, which I don't know if you know, but he only needs about 7 of those possessed to kill 10 Terminators.
Oh, I can believe it.
But -1 to hit them, -1 attack them, and you can skate on through. I actually took Paragon of the chapter on him, so I was spending this was my Warlord, spending the extra CP, and I took Psychic Mastery on him, so he had the extra deny, knew the extra power, so I could know 3 and cast 2 with +1. And then I took 5 Stormbolter Power Fist Terminators, 1 Thunderhammer Storm Shield on the Sarge, because I wanted a hard nut trading piece. So I'll explain the thinking at the end. Then I've got my ubiquitous Ravenwing Apothecary with what you'd expect. Reliquary of the Repentant Self-Sealer.
Quick question. What's the Paragon Warlord trait on your Warlord? You said Psychic Mastery. What's the other one?
Psychic Mastery and Watched.
I have Watched on
Sorry,
here.
that's the key one.
I'm looking at.
That's the key one. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's the super deny Libby.
He's super
because,
deny.
and I'll tell you why I took him like that as well.
Yeah.
Super deny. And then lastly, I got 10 Relic Terminators. So I took 10 Relic Terminators because they're the cheapest. With 1 Grenade Harness and the two Reaper autocannons. And yeah, just 10 of those because they were the cheapest, most durable unit I could get. And yeah, what would you like to know next?
Bailey?
Well,
I thought
before we get into the
do you want me to explain why
one for Nephilim is how do you do this with Nephilim, right? Just looking at this.
Let's have
we'll
that
save that for the next
later,
segment. But so we're looking at this. You were saying you were going to say something about this regular Deathwing Terminator squad, but then you stopped because I noticed. So you have the one guy with the Storm Shield Thunderhammer, and then everybody else is Bolter and Power Fist. Which so you have this mixed unit, so you weren't taking an Assault Terminator squad, and you weren't taking with the Teleport Homer, and you weren't taking the other guy with the Teleport Homer. You were taking this, so you don't have a Teleport Homer, but you do have the mixed weapon capacity.
So I already had enough Lightning Claws, so I didn't want to go an Assault squad because then you'd have to take Lightning Claws or Thunder Hammers, and already had way too much damage on Lightning Claws in combat. I needed the Fist, I needed the big strength, but the main reason is that without that squad, if I took to the last, it would be the two planes and the big Terminator squad. That unit of 5 Terminators, that's the reason it's got 1 Thunder Hammer in it. It makes it 195, so I could take the 2 Terminator squads and 1 of the boats. As in, if I wanted to play for just getting 10 against like Tau, I could play to get 10 onto the last, sit in my deployment zone, have a bit more of a stable scoring, not a big swing or big loss one way or the other. So that was the thinking there. In addition, so this list was specifically, I called the meta right and wrong at this event at the same time. And as an issue that where Dark Angels and Space Marines are at in Nockmund is that you could not build a list that was good into all the top lists. The top list being Ashurani, be that either Harlequins or Halo Doom, all three, whatever. Tau and Nids. You can build to be good into one, okay into one, and you'll be bad into the other, is the way I was figuring it out. So I built this to be good into all the Ashuriani, okay into Nids, and bad into Tau. In hindsight, it turns out it was bad into Tau. Because that was my one loss for the event, if you guys don't know. So I played Harlequins and I played Drukhari, and I freaking annihilated them with this list.
Oh, nice.
And I was very happy. I was very happy with that result. Particularly the the Dark Talons. Oh, boys, let me tell you about my Dark Talons.
Yep.
Oh, you're gonna love it. So
let's go.
what-
Let's go.
Yeah, let's hear it.
I played against Drukari, and he had a succubus that he didn't have the slots to deploy it in a raider, and I went first. And so my first Dark Talon flies over and drops the bomb on his succubus. And because you do it one at a time,
Oh, no.
you fly the first one over, you see what happens. So this lady only has 5 wounds. If you do 3 wounds with the first one, you definitely bomb them with the second one. If you do 2 wounds with the first one, maybe you go for the second one. I flew it over, 3 mortal wounds off the first bomb. And so next Dark Talon goes over, bombs her dead, top of turn 1. Just drop 2 stasis bombs on her, 2 smites.
Yeah.
Get out of here. Never heard of you. And also,
Oh, wow.
I killed a Ravager. I killed a Ravager with the Hurricane Bolters off those. Like they shot their big guns into.
What?
They shot the Rift Cannons into the Hellions. His Hellions, and I picked up them down to like 2 units left. And then just the 2 lots of 24 shots on the Bolters, picked up a whole Ravager. Like I couldn't believe it. I was just like, this is
That's
money days.
wild.
And then he didn't. So between that and then I did some big advances on my Talon Master and the Thunder Strikes. Managed to pick up his other Ravager. So turn 1 at the end of when he went into his turn 1, he had 2 Hellions left to kill the 2 planes, and nothing else could interact with them. Nothing else could charge them. Just raider shots, like 1 little Darklands here or there to try and kill my 2 birds. And so the 2 Dark Talons just like dominated the table after that because he couldn't kill them. They were just flying around, picking up squads everywhere.
Established air
this was
superiority.
built to go into.
Love it.
Yep.
Yeah.
This was built to go into Eldari because I've got the super deny psyker, so I can stop the dooms, stop the jinx, stop them from wanting to take a psychic secondary, which really denies and hampers a lot of their builds. And then
stop the Eldritch Storm too, because you can deny the psychic action, right? Yeah.
Just bang, hit it with watched. And also it's really good into the Hail of Doom lists because like they like to take to the last in a lot of their lists. They like to take Baharoth, and you can drop a stasis bomb on Baharoth, do 3 there, and then just shoot him with some bolt guns and kill him turn 1 if they let you. They take to the last on their 10 swooping hawks. Man, my Dark Talons annihilate swooping hawks, because they're above the 6. They're 3 shots on the Rift Cannon. And so, 2
9
hits,
mortal
2
wounds,
wounds,
baby.
there's 6.
Get out of here.
Yeah, do 9 mortals, and then the Hurricanes just pick them up really easily. So it's actually, and then all the little bike squads, all the Terminators, they just find it really hard to chew through that when it's all coming at them. But I found I really struggled versus Tau, like really bad versus Tau. I did manage to beat Tyranids as well at this event, which was a really amazing grindy game.
I imagine all the denies would be effective against Tyranids too.
Yeah, I denied an onslaught, which stopped his Reaper of Obliterax charge.
And nice.
And then which was a big swing. I didn't manage to kill him that turn because I had to kill a Maliceptor that turn to not lose the middle objective instead. But it just stopped me from losing the next turn, so I got to play again. And then I denied a Catalyst here and there and a couple of other bits. So that was really big there too.
That's
and
good.
actually it was actually ended up being a really good list. The list plays to go even Stevens on your primary, and then I'm trying to play so my secondary game is better than yours. And I think I talked about the last time I was on here. Dark Angels had one of the best secondary games in the world last time I was on, and but the primary game can kind of be even. So that's what I did. I played to be like, okay, we're just going to go 8s for 8s or 4s for 4s on the primary, but my secondary is going to be better than yours. Boys, Speed of the Raven. We all know how good that is, but my lord, is it MSU Eldar? Just hate that secondary. I got 12 points.
Death on the Wind. 2 points.
Death on the Wind. Sorry, what did I say?
Oh yeah, Speed of the Raven, which is still a thing we have, but it's
apologies.
So good.
No, it's all good.
Wrong word.
There's so many rules. Good. It's all right. Oh yeah, I completely see that.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to worry about flying your planes in a circle because they automatically have to move the minimum. They have to move 20 inches every turn minimum, so they're always going to get it.
Exactly right.
Yep.
But even the Thunder Strikes are quite good at it. Like every time I pop a Venom, every time I pop a
Well, and then having the 2 ballistic skill helps you fight through all the negative ones too.
Exactly right. It's not as good into stuff like Void Weavers, but what was really funny is all I need to do is just get 1 hit from each Rift Cannon because it wounds on a 2. against him. So as
Yeah.
long as I get a hit, I get a wound. There's 3 mortal wounds just through. So
Yeah.
I had my 2 Rift Cannons killed 2 Void Weavers because I got 3 shots, 2 hits, 2 2+s because it's strength 12 versus there's toughness 5, and I just picked up a Void Weaver, and then the other one got 1 hit, 1 wound, and then his Hurricanes finished off another one, and so that was huge, like huge points in that game. So yeah, this list felt really good. It felt like it did what I wanted to do. It got really exposed by Tau, and went kind of level into Tyranids. On a favourable matchup for me because I had the bottom of turn. I only won that game because I had the bottom of turn and was willing to just try and go for the big score. But yeah, really good list. The Relic Terminators were a little bit disappointing because I had games where I needed them to go into combat and do work, and they just couldn't. Like just charging them into like Tyranid warriors, they couldn't kill them. Wounding on 5s, re-rolling, and then it was a turn when the Tyranids had an invuln save. They couldn't lift for me. They couldn't get anything done.
I've thought that I probably want to start putting some like 2 or 3 chain fists in my Relic Terminator squads, just because sometimes you need a little more. You need to wound things on 3s instead of 5s. So yeah, exactly right.
There's so much toughness 5 in the game. I think they're not in a great spot. And against Armor Contempt, they're going down to AP 1. Like they can't really scratch the paint on some of the other Terminator units when you want to go like for like.
Which is the other reason the chain fist is AP4. So
Yeah, boy. Yeah, boy.
So the secondaries, you took Death on the Wind, and did you do Investigate Signal? That action?
I didn't in this one. Yeah, I didn't in this one. I took Stubborn Defiance in a couple of games. I took To the Last in a couple of games. I took Death on the Wind almost in every game. I think I took Engage in a couple because the planes could still score me Engage. They can't anymore, so that's a bit of a knock to them. But between them and the bikes and the speeders, I can get like a good 8 to 12 points on Engage, depending if I go first or second. So I don't mind Engage. I played Banners quite a bit as well because I can defend 1 banner extremely well, usually 2. So it's a nice even 10. And I took Stranglehold quite a lot as well. Because Stranglehold on this one, it's really easy for me to clear and hold 3. I can't permanently hold 3 to get 12 on primary because I'm holding 1 usually with 3 bikes that you can go pick up. But I have enough DACA that I can clear objective, put 3 bikes on it, get Stranglehold for like a minimum 3 turns of the game.
Yeah.
So that actually makes me think the new so Stranglehold's gone now, but there's a Space Marine secondary which is all about flipping objectives. Is that something to think about?
Yeah, boy. That's the modus operandi for me going forward.
Right.
My new combination of secondaries is Shock Tactics and Death on the Wind. Is my new stick them together. They go together. Actually, I need to double check if they're in the right slots. I think they're in the right slots.
Let's go for it.
I'm looking right now. I'm looking right now.
The natural transition.
So the idea here is that we have, like I said, I'm going to be pivoting into, I think, Ravenwing centric, as in a pure Ravenwing is where I want to be in this new book. If we're willing to jump over and transition,
yeah.
So pure Ravenwing is where I want to be.
And just want to confirm, Shock Tactics is a Battlefield Supremacy, and Death on the Wind is, I think, No Mercy. So
No Mercy, no Respite,
or Purge.
We're good to go there. So we're not good when you go Ravenwing. Deathwing is great to getting on objectives and holding objectives, but they lost Stubborn Defiance. There's no To the Last, and there's no Stranglehold, and that was like the 3 things that made the little baby go. They were like the backbone of that build. There's still awesome options there. You're not going to have any problems picking secondaries, but that's 3 big issues now. But Ravenwing is really good at flipping objectives, but not holding them. And so when you take Shock Tactics, you go and flip objectives, and they let you're holding them with 3 bikes. They're very easy for your opponent to flip back, and then for you to flip back again to even more points next turn. And so what you do is you take Death on the Wind, and you take Shock Tactics, and every time you clear an objective and hold it, you've killed something with a Ravenwing unit for 2 points, and you flipped an objective for 3 points. So every time you do that, you get 5 points. And it's a really good equation. Yeah, you see where this is going? So just by playing so you take those 2 secondaries, and then just by playing what you would naturally want to do to win the primary, you're getting a crap load of secondary points. It makes a lot of sense to me. To me, at least, it makes a lot of sense. And then you can combo that with behind enemy lines. You can combo that with engage in all fronts. So you can combo that with whichever one makes the most sense. That doesn't shackle you to killing something. Is essentially what I want the last one to do.
How are you feeling on engage for Nephilim? Engage on all fronts.
I think it's fine. Now that you don't need to have because the change to death and all engage in all fronts is that the unit just had to start the game with 3 models. So and now all my OBSEC buy squads, they're 3 models, so they now all score engage now, which is fantastic, and they all move like a bajillion inches.
Yeah.
So essentially, I feel like engage is one of our safest options. And seeing as we want to shoot out, flip objectives, and get on stuff, it feels pretty good too. But I think it is in battlefield. It's in battlefield supremacy, so it conflicts with shock tactics.
Well, the thing I think people will enjoy about
true.
that combination, though, is that it requires you to actually play the game with your opponent. And that's going to throw people off, especially at the beginning, because they're going to see a Dark Angels list and think about Knockman and go, oh, it's a bunch of Terminators sitting in the backboard not doing anything. And then you come out with a bunch of bikes and speeders, and you're out there and you're trading pieces back and forth the whole game. I think it'll be more enjoyable. I think everybody's going to enjoy that a lot more. It'll be more fun to play with and against.
Yeah.
I've been playing this. I've been thinking for probably 2 or 3 months that this all Ravenwing, just like Ricky Bobby, I'm gonna go fast and you're gonna die, full multi-melt to spam, has been kind of the way to go. And I did the 2 Dark Talons, and I played into a friend of mine who's a really accomplished Sisters player. He's a U.S. Army captain. Just the dude's got small unit tactics on lock, and those freaking Dark Talons, man. Like, oh hey, you got a squad of 10 Zephyrim. Too bad if something happened to him.
Yeah.
Get out of here. Just gone.
Yeah,
just gone. And and I love the 2 Dark Talons. So I was doing 3 units of 3 attack bikes with 9 multi-meltas total, another unit of like 6 speeders with assault cannons and multi-meltas, and the land speeder Vengeance, and one of the storm speeders. But so are you still thinking the 3 Thunderstrikes, or still thinking the 3 Thunderstrikes?
Yes and no. So there's a couple of things that have changed points wise to I'm sure you guys pointed out. The land speed of Vengeance is now 110 points.
It is.
That's points. That's pointed to shift. To move some models. So that's a 40-point discount on each Thunderstrike. It shoots. It doesn't shoot as good, but it shoots very respectably. And I can save 100. You tell me I can save 120 points by changing my 3 Thunderstrikes to 3 Vengeances? I need to consider that, because those 120 points buy me exactly a freaking Dark Shroud now. And I'm wondering if the Dark Shroud can be a contender again at 120. So
here's
there's a lot to consider.
Here's the other question is, so the problem I'm seeing is that in an Outrider detachment, you only get 6. You get 6 slots, and I can't afford to buy another detachment. So, like, not saturating the detachment with points, I'm going to have a hard time spending all those points. I've spent 400 points on Flyers, my Dark Talons, but if I spend 3 slots on 310 point models, now I don't know if I got enough point. So you put a full unit of bikes. Maybe I can combat squad them to get my 2 small units of bikes, but that's the problem I'm starting to think about. So I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah. Well, we're at this impasse where we need to decide which detachments the detachments we choose are pivotal. If you want all your CP, you can take a single Outrider, single Vanguard. You can still do that play. I actually struggle to fill out the points in a single Outrider. I've got a couple of lists here where I've tried to just make a single Outrider work, and I've got like 40 points left. I can't buy anything. I have no slots left, like to actually purchase anything, because. I want to play Outriders. I'm just going to put it out there. I want to play Outriders. Yeah. I want to play I want to play 6 units of 3 OBSEC bikes, and that's all my slots in my Outrider are gone just by OBSEC bikes. And then what's the rest of your list? You don't have any other slots left. It's at a really awkward place. So yeah, I'm not sure where I want to go. I've got like 5 different Nephilim lists in my battle scribe: a battalion and Outrider, single Vanguard, like a battalion. Only thing I don't like is the battalion, to be honest. I feel like I don't like the battalion for Dark Angels.
I kind of feel you. I've spent too many points on things that aren't going to kill. Like I want to talk about it just because like there are people that want to play Green Wing and they want to play infantry, and so I've got a couple of ideas, but
This guy.
which maybe we can bring up. But yeah, but
Yeah.
So how do you feel about the Black Knights with their point drop and the fact that you can take them in an elite slot in an Outrider? And that also gets you
I'm
access
taking
to
10
a free slot to put your apothecary in. So
I am taking 10, my dude. On my single Outrider list. My single Outrider list is Sammy, Talonmaster, 10 Black Knights, Apothecary, 3x3 Outriders, 3x3 Bikes, 2 Dark Talons, and I think that's where I've got the 40 points left with nothing to do with it. Maybe it's a combi melter on all the sergeants in the bike squads.
You said 3x3 Outriders. Interesting.
Mm-hmm,
Yeah, because they got a point structure.
Yeah, I just want to.
No, go. Yo,
yeah,
please,
so
please
I want to play that. I want to live that life. Because I love the OBSEC speed, and Outriders just have. I still think they're too expensive. I think they should be 40 points. You're telling me that an Outrider is 10 points better than a Black Knight now? You're tripping.
Nope.
Absolutely off your guts. They should be 40 points per model. And
Devastating Charge is good, but it's not that good.
It's good. Right. I mean, I'm considering a little tech piece. We got the +1 strength on the charge Warlord trait?
Yes. Fury of the Lion. Yeah. No, and I've done that on a Ravenwing champion before. I've done that on a Ravenwing champion, and it's tasty. It's tasty.
So this list, starts with 6 CP. I'm going to spend 1 for Arbiter's Gaze, of course, and 1 for Selfless Healer. So we're at 4. I love Reliquary of the Repentant, but I don't necessarily need it. So that right now, it's the tech that goes on the champion is what I'm tossing up. Does the champion take Fury of the Lion? Because if he does, the Outriders can charge in Assault Doctrine with 18 Strength 5 -2 attacks. It's actually very respectable. Very good at clearing objectives at that price point. In addition, it gets the Black Knights to the critical tough Strength 6 in combat, so they can kill Tyrannid warriors. They can actually, threaten a lot of the toughness 5 stuff out there. So that's one I'm considering quite a lot. And but then do I take the Reliquary as well and go down to 2, starting with 2 CP? So yeah, there's a lot to consider still in this build. And once again, there's 40 points left that I don't have anything to do with.
Well, let me ask you this question. Go ahead, Bailey.
I was going to say that's something else we should probably mention when we're done with this little bit is the fact that the biggest change I think for everybody is the fact we're going to 6 CP, and that's why we're all talking about there being 1 detachment. Like we just kind of jumped in at that point because we're only going to have 6 CP. Yeah. So anyway, Heath, go with what you were asking there.
So I want to ask this, one of the things we talked about in our last episode where we kind of previewed these changes to Nephilim is what is your CP budget for turn 1? So if I start the game with 4 or if I start the game with 2, what's your budget? What are you saying I need to do that I have to have CP for?
So if you're bringing Dark Talons, you have to start
with... Is it something else?
Yeah. Well, so so this is an issue, yeah? Black Knights are a good unit now, extremely CP intensive. We're talking crazy CP intensive if you want to use them at their max value. Using them at their best usually includes Weapons of the Dark Age, and then is it Speed of the Raven where you bounce out of combat? What's it called? I'm not good at the names of these things.
Swift Strike.
So you bounce out of combat. Use them at their 3
CP for 10 of them.
Yeah, exactly. So usually to use them at their best, you're looking at 5 CP a turn to use them at their peak. And that's to keep your 350 point units safe. That's pretty much how you got to keep them safe. The other way of doing it, if you want to save a CP, is to use 2 CP on Stasis Shell instead of 3 CP on Swift Strike to keep them trapped in combat. Because no one has CP to Desperate Breakout for 2 CP anymore, because just nobody's going to do that. They're stuck in combat.
Well, also that's what your Dark Talon does, right? Your Dark Talon, the bomb, prevents people from falling back out of combat. So that can help keep them safe as well.
So minimum, if you're taking Dark Talons, if you're taking 10 Black Knights, there's 3 things that you need to take with them. You need to take a source of reroll so they don't kill themselves when they overcharge, of course. So a la Sammy or a captain.
Yep.
Azrael can do it as well. If you want to take a patrol or whatnot and take a few extra CP. You need to take an apothecary so they bring themselves back to life when they do kill themselves, and you need to keep a way to keep them safe. And that's either you need a fun bucket of CP, which we don't have anymore, or you need to waste to keep them trapped in combat. And so that's why you need to have at least one Dark Talon with your Black Knights. I believe you do. You need them.
Yeah,
Having two just is better. Oh, cool! You scouted your recruit. Thanks very much, mate. Let's bomb them for D3. One Black Knight is going to attack you in combat, and the rest are going to pin off you. And next turn, we're going to come eat all your hammerheads. Like that kind of stuff is where I'm looking at.
Have you played any games with Nephilim yet?
I've not played. I just played in a teams tournament this weekend, which was the last Australian event playing the Knockman data set. So it's goodbye. It's out with the old, in with the new. And I'm cool. Like that post event fever where you just like you get back from the event, you're exhausted, but you can't just stop your hand opening up Battle Scribe and like tweaking a list. That's where I'm at right now. I'm gonna be doing
this is like the ultimate. It's like the ultimate because you have to tweak. You don't have an option. Everything's different.
Everything's changed.
Oh man, I know exactly that rush. Like when you like sometimes when you're getting to the event, you feel that grind, and then you have that. There's that rush when you get home. You're like, I got a hobby. I got to, the motivation. That's the big thing about like if you don't go to events or you've never played at a tournament. That is one of the best feelings when you're done, win, lose, draw. Is that once you've gone and you've seen what everybody else is doing, and you've seen what you're missing, or you figure out, oh, I could be doing this instead of that. You come home from an event, win, lose, or draw, you're ready to take on the world on your hobby table. So if you're having a hard time getting hobby stuff done, go sign up for an event. It'll get you motivated to paint what you need to take, and then when you get home, you're going to be motivated to do a lot more after that.
Sure. Yeah, man. I want to tell you something, my man, my Green Wing loving friend. I took 10 Hellblasters to this event.
Oh, lovely.
What kind of Hellblasters?
All aboard. Assault Hellblasters.
Yeah. I know
all aboard
is
that
Heath's
train.
Thing.
Yeah.
I know that's Heath's thing.
I'm all about the 5 or 6 of them in an impulsor. So they spin, jump out, boom. Yeah, that's good.
I took 10. And if you want to play Green Wing, I think 10, or even if you want to play like a Patrol and a Vanguard now, you take Azrael. And those guys are just actually. So this, I was playing a very defensive build at this team's event, and I didn't want to take. Of course, I flat refuse to take any more than 2 bricks of 10 Terminators. I'll take some command squads as well, but I'll never take 3 bricks of Terminators. So they're the pseudo third brick. And they do something the other ones can't do. They're 330 points. It's not cheap. They're 10 points less than the freaking Relic Terminators. They're very expensive. But they do something that the others can't do. Is that because no one is afraid of walking up to exactly like 18.1 inches away from regular Terminators, because like, cool, you can't charge me because you move 5. You can't shoot me because you've only got Storm Bolters. I don't care. I'm just going to exist on all these secondaries that can't do anything. And then the Hellblasters walk out with 30, Strength 7, -5. Let me say that again. Rend 5 in Tactical Doctrine. Damage 3 guns, and I even gave them the I took a chappie with the litany for +1 to wound the closest target. I was
going to ask you about that.
So they could pop, so they could pop big knights, so they could actually threaten toughness 8, and they annihilated all event, man. They only died once, and they just butchered. Like I played, my last game was against a Sisters player who had 2 units of Paragon Warsuits, both dead, instantly dead to the squad. I played against Renegade Knights, and they killed 2.5 War Dogs turn 1. 2.5. 3 into one guy, 3 into another, 4 into another. And then the one they didn't kill just got picked up by the Talon Master. So between 1 unit of Hellblasters, 2 CP, Azrael, and a Talon Master, 3 War Dogs dead. Like 500 points gone. Actually so nuts.
That's so
actually really, really good.
So Green Wing, we're thinking lean back into what you got. A bunch of Hellblasters, and then. So how do you score? So 2-part question. 1, how do you think you score Stubborn Defiance? 2, should you be trying to score Stubborn Defiance? And 3, why does it involve Phobos units?
So Stubborn Defiance has fundamentally changed in that you cannot pick a secondary in your deployment zone. So there's only a couple of missions where this is really rough. There's usually, if you're playing a 5 objective mission, there's always one you can play. You can always play this pretty much, unless you're playing the Dawn of War one, where there's 3 in the middle, because that's a little bit too far. But usually, a lot of 5 objective missions, you start in a table quarter, and there's always an objective straight above your deployment zone. Now, there is a very specific unit I have in mind for this, and if you want to play Stubborn Defiance, you actually have to build it into your list now. You can't just take Terminators and just assume you're going to be able to do it.
Yep.
There is a unit that we can take. It's very expensive, but it does Stubborn Defiance extremely well. It's 10 Infiltrators and a Helix Gauntlet on the Sergeant.
Yep.
So, and then you take Azrael. Yeah, and so you put them on the objective because they have to start on the objective in order for you to guarantee getting the 15. Because the scoring has changed as well. It goes 1 on turn 1, 2 on turn 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you get 5 on turn 5. So missing the turn 5 is gigantic. It's going from 10
I didn't
points
realize
to 15
that.
points.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You'll be scoring 10 points if you don't score turn 5. And then when you start recounting, you don't get 2 points for the next one. You go back to scoring 1 point, 2 point, 3 point.
Yeah.
So it's actually way worse if you get interrupted. But if you deploy 10 heal, it only works against some lists. Like don't take this against Halo Doom Eldar when they can just shoot 9 Wind Riders down your flank and pick up the whole unit. But 10 infiltrators in cover with a Helix Gauntlet to ignore the first instance of damage. You just drop the 2 CP if someone's going to dunk them and go for transhuman, and then they can drop a smoke bomb as well for 1 CP. And then you advance Azrael over to them immediately, and then you can make them forced to hit, forced to wound, and have a 4-up invuln, ignoring the first instance of damage. Extremely hard to kill with no LOS shooting. Like there's no air burst, Manticores, PBCs and stuff. Well, Manticores still do, but they don't hurt you that much with armor and contempt. That's a very hard unit to shift if it's in cover. So that is my best pick for how to play Stubborn Defiance now. If you want to keep playing it, Green Wing do it better. Take a patrol, put Azrael as the HQ. He'll give you a bunch of CP to power up that unit and make it reliable, and then just spend what you got to spend on that troop slot. And it's a lot of points.
Yeah. So I was thinking about like infiltrators, and then 2 options like a Phobos captain or a Phobos librarian with Lord of Deceit, so that I can just ship or swip a Phobos unit around. So whichever, because you don't have to pick it until your first command phase, which is not your opponent's first turn necessarily.
Yes.
So the other thing that Bailey brought up was using the there's a spell that the Phobos discipline has where you can basically make a unit not targetable unless they're the closest.
Cool. Yeah.
So
that's
Ravenwing land speeders shoot forward. Now you can't even shoot my guys. But once again, a lot more tech pieces going into that.
I thought about that bit. I didn't think about the redeploy actually. That's a really good spot. That's a really good pickup. Because the idea would be that you play this in a list that has the Terminators still, and your unit of Terminators advances to get their asses in front of the Infiltrators immediately, and now they've got to kill 10 very hard to kill Terminators to even start shooting at the Infiltrators.
The other thing I'm thinking of too is now you just load up your drop pods again, boys. We're coming in hot. That's something else because they can come in turn 1 and screen them out.
Yeah.
Well, no, you have to start your command phase. The drop pods come in the movement phase. But that would be a way to get your guys on target on turn 1. So so you have to have the Phobos there on turn 1. But you can rain a steel from orbit and secure the objective. So I didn't think of that. There's something there.
Yeah, that's a good pick. Yeah, we're unpacking it. That's good.
10 tactical Marines coming out of a drop pod like it's 5th edition. Like what?
Yeah.
Devastator squads everywhere.
The other one. The other one is just like you just put 5 infiltrators in a freaking impulsor in front of it. And then they've got like 3 instances of shooting they have to do to get through to get to it. But I wish impulsors went down in points. It really annoys me they're 110 points because they don't do anything.
Actually, I disagree with that. I took an impulsor and I put the 2 storm bolters and the sky talon, whatever, the sky talon array, and the heavy the iron hail. And dude, that thing puts out 20 shots. 20 shots. It's a lot. And it's like, I would just charge that thing right into combat. He's like, okay, fine, whatever. Next turn, 20 shots hitting on 3s in combat.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like 12 of them are heavy.
2s on the storm bolters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
it's not nothing. My only issue is you pay like 130 points for that. That's the amount of points someone pays for a tank that threatens other tanks, and our tank just kills like Kroot, But I get you. It's not crap. It's not craptastic because you can still put some blade guard in there or whatnot.
Yep. Blade Guard.
And Blade Guard are fine. I don't know why people are hating on Blade Guard because they don't have armor of contempt. They're fine. Blade Guard are good.
No, I think they're fine.
Transhuman Blade Guard ain't nothing.
Any list I take with Blade Guard also has Ezekiel in it to throw Righteous Repugnance on him.
Yep,
because if you've never seen that work, that works. It does damage. It does. Like you don't know you've been hit. Oh no, stuck at strength 5. Once again, Fury the Lion on a Ravenwing champion. They can get in there. Now they're strength 6. Rerolling all hits and rerolling all wounds. You don't need strength 6 if you're rerolling all wounds, man.
No, I get that. It's just without the rerolls, I feel like they suffer because they get to strength 5, and then that kind of limits what they can interact with. But if you give them rerolls, all of a sudden the playbook opens with them, and they're 2 damage power swords, which helps so they can start fighting vehicles. They can do this and that, and I feel like you have to, like you were saying, Heath, you have to have somebody give them Righteous Repugnance. And then the nice part with having Ezekiel too, and this is something with the points changes that Dark Angels players really need to pay attention to, are all the free relics and things on the characters, because Ezekiel comes with an Honor Vehement, like for free.
It does.
He just has it.
Yeah.
And that helps. Blade Guard getting stuck in, now hitting on 2s because they didn't move this phase in your opponent's turn, but they still have Shock Assault because Big E's standing right next to him. That changes the game. That is a very, very powerful piece that people aren't expecting, and it's brutal.
Yeah, I mean,
like Azrael comes with like 2 relics and a Warlord trait already. He's got a Warlord trait to give you 2 CP essentially, because you make him your Warlord, he gives you 2 CP. He's got a relic of 4+ invulnerable save, and he's got like a relic sword, a relic freaking gun. So and the fact is, they both went down 10 points. 160 for freaking Azzy, bargain.
Bargain. Yeah, if you're not playing pure Ravenwing, he's in your list. There's no way not to.
Yeah,
I don't see a way not
straight
to.
up.
Yeah. What else do you think? Oh, you all right, man?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember because I didn't Asmodai lose points, and I can't remember what his bonus is. But I thought he used to do Fury of the Lion or something. He does something.
Yeah, he used to do something really cool, but not in 9th edition. He used to have the +1 attack aura, but they gave it to Zeke. So
he does 1/2 of nothing. Unfortunately, I wish he was good. He's pretty cool.
He used to drop out of a drop pod and buff my Deathwing Knights. Speaking of Deathwing Knights, Adam, what do you think about Deathwing Knights at 43 points a model?
They are very takeable. Very takeable. They dropped 4 points per model, which is nice. Yeah. I think they are. That's only 3 points more than a regular Thunderhammer Storm Shield lad.
That is the same as a Thunderhammer Storm Shield, bro. I believe. That's same as a Hammer Shield. Same as a Hammer Shield Termi.
Very good.
Yeah.
Lose Obsec.
That is very good. Hit on 2s and good stratagem support. That strat for the extra Ren +1 to wound, very good. Exactly what they need to punch through armor of contempt. Plus you get the flail. Yeah. The flail is sick. You can mastercraft it if you want. It's extra
mastercraft
sick.
it.
I'm not sure.
It's so
I'm not sure if people get the CP to throw around mastercrafting their flails anymore though. But if you can justify it,
if I take those guys, the guy gets a mastercrafted flail. I had that mastercrafted flail kill an entire unit of striking scorpions in 1 hit.
Oh yeah, dude, he loves that stuff.
Yeah, just
man, Aspect Warriors.
So
win them on 2s. Nope. Love it. I'm pretty high on them. I don't know what the unit size is. I feel like it's a unit of 5 of them. Without being obsec, I don't like taking more than a 5-man. If I'm going to take a 10-man, that means I should be paying for Rites of War to give them the flexibility. And if I've got a 5-man, it's enough points that I can justify putting in reserve and just seeing if my chappie lets them get a 7. They just hit the 7 off the deep strike in some games.
Yeah.
So, but you can't afford to have 440 point 10-man sitting off the table for multiple turns. Especially if you go second. But 5-man, I feel like it's where it's at. Very justifiable. 200 under 300 points for 5 of them, and they absolutely annihilate so much stuff.
Yeah, I think that 400 something points of them as like walking on the board. You just stay away from them. But 5 of them, okay, I can keep those guys in reserve and drop them in where I need them to be. I think I agree with that.
Yeah. I like it as well.
Yeah. What do you think about Land Raiders coming down 20 points with Armor Contempt? Are we in a Land Raider yet? Still no?
I wish we were. I really wish we were.
What
if they were toughness 9,
yeah,
like
I was gonna ask.
If the chaos, if they were toughness 9 like the Chaos ones, maybe. But even then, I don't know which configuration. Like maybe it's the Godhammer, the double las cannons. But the Chaos las cannons are D3 +3. on the side sponsors.
Yeah,
on those.
the soul.
If we got
soul
that
shard.
as
Yeah.
If we got that as well, like toughness 9, D3 plus 3, maybe you have a little bang bus with 5 Deathwing Knights in a Land Raider Giant Hammer and just be like, haha, dodge this, boy, dodge this.
Yeah.
But as it sits right now, it's still too many points that just doesn't do that much, unfortunately. Like,
which is
you take a
sad.
unit of Eradicators.
Yeah.
A unit of 3 Eradicators does more damage than the Land Raider does. Infinitely more hideable. Not more durable, but they don't get shot, so they don't die until you use them at least once. Yeah. And yeah, they actually got 6 shots with when they double shoot, rather than just the 4 from the Land Raider. So yeah, unfortunately, I don't know what they need to do to fix Land Raiders, because right now they're just not there. They need to give them what the Impulsors got, where they need to give you get out and charge.
I think if they had at least. Yeah, at least if the Crusader had a stratagem that you could get out and charge after it moved.
Yeah.
Then, because the Crusader,
you should.
Now we're wish listing. So, yeah,
always.
Yep. Okay. Couple last questions about the Space Marine point changes here. Eliminators, 75 points, period, end of story. Las Fusils don't cost anything. Where are you at on that?
I wish so. There's 2 units that GW need to update the datasheet for. Actually, 3 units. Suppressors, Eliminators, and Outriders need to be able to go to 6-mans. As soon as you can go to 6-man on Eliminators, you can have 5 Las Fusils and 1 guy to jump, shoot, jump. Very good unit. Right now, up in the air. I'm up in the air on it. I think it's still better to take the Las Fusils now, to take the 2 Las Fusils and 1 Instigator Carbine, than it is to take the two bot rifles. I think the Las Fusils are just straight up better. So you should just do that. Like, just swap out the 2 sniper rifles, but you still need the move, shoot, move guy. So it should just be the ubiquitous switch, because it's just a better gun. Straight up, just a better gun.
I think they're really durable,
better across the board,
and they have a lot of really interesting tech play with the Phobos guerrilla tactics stratagem. If you want to have an option to do behind enemy lines, but for 75 points,
yeah,
and they can be a spoil play for the middle of the board against the Eldar. I don't think we see Eldar playing Phantasm anymore for 2 CP at the beginning of the game, but they can't afford it.
Yeah. Which is why we can't afford the hunt. 2 CP to scout you move 1 unit. It's just not a thing anymore. Can't do it. The Eliminators are great because they always score you engage, because you can only take them as a 3-man, and they move, shoot, move. So you can move, advance, shoot, move it. You can really get into lines and make that extra. Because you have to be 6 inches in from the table quarter now.
Yep.
So it's a lot easier for the Eliminators to go and get you those points, which I think is pretty cool.
Okay. And last question about that is Assault Squads. 18 points per model, including a jump pack as an action monkey. I don't know about it.
I don't hate them. I don't know about it either, but because Dark Angels do literally nothing for you.
Yeah.
For that unit. Dark Angels enhance that unit literally in 0 ways. But still, it's not a bad unit. I can't tell you not to take it because it's good. The data slate is just good.
I just keep bringing it up because my buddy Chris that plays Oryx, I've watched him do things to people with Storm Boys, and I go, well, what is a Storm Boy? It's basically an Assault Marine. So if Chris can make Storm Boys do silly things, and little 5-man squads do actions and run interference, I should be able to do that with an Assault Squad. But then the problem becomes if I'm running...
They compete with your fast attack slots.
Yeah, and if you run,
that's what I was about to say.
You can't run you mess up your second company rules so you have to run a battalion, and then there's even less slots, and so it's just they're sort of stuck in the fact there's too many other things that you've got to be doing with them.
We got a stacked fast attack slot, stacked. We are a bit spoiled compared to other Marines in that regard. We're a bit less on the heavy support. Like heavy support's. We don't have many good heavy support options.
Hellblasters, what?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. We have that one. That's it. Give me a second. No, but yeah, we have stacked elites, stacked fast attack, just off the chain.
Yeah. Well, okay. So you think that the static Deathwing Ford, pure Vanguard, I don't die, screw you. You think that's not super competitive for Nephilim?
It's not super pushed. It's still very good because you go from being like, well, I used to just win on the secondaries. Yeah, a lot of people are now. So it used to be that you played the primary and then you got your secondary points. Now there's a lot of the time your primary is not. So your secondaries are just their own thing. They're just off there, and they're their own meter. And so they're not chained together intrinsically through stranglehold and stubborn defiance. But you can still just be like, I'm going to bully the crap out of your primary score with that army. But that means that army has to move. That army starts on the line and just goes and takes the middle and be like, I'm getting 12s, you're getting 4s or 8s, I'm going to win this game. And just put that pressure on them in different ways. There's still good secondary options for them. They still will get, good luck stopping me from getting grind. You know? You will kill 0 units, I will kill 1. 3 points, fantastic.
Shock tactics probably works.
Best 3
too.
points.
Yeah.
Shock tactics works as well. The only difference is to get 15 on shock tactics, they need to be taking them back off you at some point.
Okay, good point.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So
that's why
if you're putting 10 Terminators on it,
that's where having the non-obsec Terminators is funny, though, because you take the character that has the obsec buff and you take him away so that they take it, and then you bring him back over so you get it
and put it back and take it away and you put it back. That's pretty cool, actually.
Smart. Okay. Yeah, I like that. All right.
And you can do it. If it's a Ravenwing character, you can Swift Strike him. That's how you can do it.
Swift Strike him. Bounce him all the way up the line. Yeah, that's cool.
Or if you just put one model on the objective and then they shoot at him. Oh, that guy died.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah. Man, what do you think about Martial Interdiction, which is the Dark Angels one where I pick one of your characters? So in Nachman or in the book, the opponent picked the character that you had to kill. Now I get to pick the character that I want to kill because I know who knows stuff about the Fallen. What do you think about that?
Against Knights, amazing.
Oh,
yes.
Against other things like Knights, amazing. Everybody else,
that's like
it has to be something that they're. It has to be something. It has to be a character that you can pick that they're going to lose the game if they don't use them.
Yeah,
like a Baden,
Bobby G,
those guys,
the Scorpack Lord,
those level of character.
Yeah.
Exactly. Those level of guys like Silent King that, your game plan revolves around this guy, your list is built around him. So if you keep him away from me, probably doing me just as much good as, if you feed him to me. It's good and bad. So I think there's it's ubiquitous in if you've taken a Deathwing Terminator unit and you're playing against Knights, go get him. Just go get him, that one guy. Otherwise, probably leave it at home.
Well, and then the other buff is that you can get 3 points for killing them, just period. You don't have to do it with Inner Circle or Deathwing. Which
I do want to point out something else here, though. So the way that they changed the wording on this, you get 3 points for killing them, and then you get 3 points for killing them with a Dark Angel's melee attack. You get 3 points for killing them with an Inner Circle or a Deathwing, and then you get 6 points for the killing if the Dark Angels model that destroyed the Selective model has not itself been destroyed. That does not say that that's dead, a melee attack. So if I just say, you know what, I'm done. That guy's dead with all my Ravenwing range shooting. I'm just going to pile multi-meltas on Silent King. I get 9 points, and I'm not upset about that.
Mm-hmm. No, that's really good.
So, me either.
So that's you've got a backup.
It's a great third pick.
You've got a backup plan for it, and that's a purge the enemy. So it does not conflict with Death on the Wind.
Nice. Yeah, that's actually a good point. So you get 2 points of Death on the Wind for killing that dude too.
Yep.
So that's just bang 11.
Yep.
That's really good. That's phenomenal against the Silent King and stuff. That's really
I think that might be a good third option in a lot of builds for that Ravenwing Ricky Bobby list.
And if it hasn't been,
if I can just say I get 9 points for killing this character, and if it's something that I can see, especially if it's not protected by Lookout Sir, okay.
Amazing. Yeah, amazing.
Yeah, and something else to mention to those that are home that don't know, you are no longer limited to one faction secondary anymore with Nephilim. That's another huge twist. That's why we're talking about mixing some of these. If you didn't know that, you can, and that's why we're talking about it in this way, because that's a huge change. There's just so much about this Nephilim book. If you got really, because I got kind of, and maybe some of you guys were too, you got kind of tired with Nachmund. There was the build, this is what it was. Come back and play some Nephilim because they've completely changed. I love, and I also hate playing when I know these changes are coming, because I know in 2 weeks whatever I'm doing now doesn't matter, so I don't really want to play. But now I'm stoked. This is a whole new game. Even though we have an older codex, this is a whole new game, and we have some really cool tools to play in it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we've covered points. We've covered secondaries. I'd like to maybe shift a little bit, and let's talk about the meta overall from the balanced status slate perspective. So Asuryani got hit pretty hard. They got nerf slapped. The Tyranids got nerf slapped. The Tau got nerf slapped. Admech are off their apology tour. Orcs got a little bit biffed back up.
Yeah.
Nephilim or Necrons, whole new ball game for Necrons. So what do you think, Adam? What is your professional commentator's opinion on on the effect of that for the Dark Angels?
So there are two big issues. So two big matchups. Armor of Contempt wise that we need to start conceptualizing. Sisters was already was a decent matchup for us. We were usually pretty good because the -1 damage banner meant that the Repentia did nothing. Zephyrim just bounced. There not enough attacks to kill Terminators. If you pivot into a Ravenwing build, those are very deadly units again. Like Zephyrim and Repentia pick up all your stuff, and there's only more Zephyrim on the board, more and more Zephyrim.
Yeah,
oh boy,
they pick up all your stuff, and they charge your planes, all that. So that's going to be a matchup to watch. In addition, Blood Angels are absolutely cranked, and Blood Angels is a very bad matchup for this kind of style list because literally only you have only 3 units that are going to threaten anything like a Sangard unit in cover. Is only threatened by a Dark Talon, the land speeders, and my land speeders, the Thunderstrikes can only kill like 3 a turn. Sangard.
Those two wound Sangard, like Dark Talon's just kind of like, oh no, I killed 2. It doesn't do much. So
doesn't do much. So that's a bad matchup for us. This is now a bad matchup with this new build. These are bad matchups. But some of the stuff is really good for us, like the new Necron build. We're actually extremely good at killing one important thing. We are very good at killing a Silent King, like extremely good at killing a Silent King. And we can deploy all our stuff outside of range of the Menhirs. So then bang, the Dark Talons just swoop in. If you are a baller like me and take the Reliquary of the Repentance and just double move that dude and sacrifice that champion turn 1 and give that Silent King a 5+ invulnerable save, it goes down like a ton of freaking bricks. Just get him out of here.
Yeah, that's good.
Same for any knights as well.
I've played that matchup myself. I put 15 multi-melta shots into a Silent King who is debuffed to a 5-up invul save and does not like the result. It is like
annihilate,
like a ton of bricks if said ton of bricks was falling from orbit. Just it hits hard.
Yes,
it hits hard. So
I actually think the list that we're playing, if we play into the full Ravenwing list, that list is very good into. I believe it's going to be quite good into the new tower builds. We weren't good into the all crisis suit builds. We're actually quite bad. I do not like that hammerheads are going to be on the rise. If hammerheads are everywhere, the land speeders and the Dark Talons might get replaced by multi-melter attack bikes. Will just be a better option because you can hide them, keep them safe, and then they go just kill them for you very easily. Because what happens? So I don't know if you guys. So the tower game I played. At Terracon, the one that I lost, he had one hammerhead, and every single freaking turn, that hammerhead auto-killed one of my vehicles.
Yep.
First turn, bang, dead land speeder. Second turn, bang, dead plane. Third turn, bang, dead land speeder. Just bang, remove. And that was with one. That was with long strike, with one. Yeah. I'm expecting people to have 3 hammerheads, so you're going to have to worry about that. But on the flip side, there's nowhere near as much crisis units. Yeah. Nowhere near as many crisis units. So that's it's a net gain for us. It's a net positive because one of the things we couldn't do to freaking crisis suits was tag them and get them stuck in combat with you because they kill you anyway. They shoot into combat. So trapping, wrapping, stasis bombs, all that janky stuff that Dark Angels have gets a lot more value versus Tau, and actually gets a lot more value versus Asuryani as well. If Asuryani, because usually they only have 1-2 units of melee, they have maybe they have a Karandras and maybe they have 1 or 2 units of Howling Banshees. We can account for those very easily. Oh, cool. Some bolt guns pick up your Banshees. Whichever unit of bolt guns makes it usually picks up 5 Banshees. A unit of 3 bikes shooting and charging 5 Banshees ices them most of the time, especially in Tactical Doctrine. And so I feel like the Asuryani play is fine. I feel like the Tower one is pretty much the same, maybe a little bit better. The Tyrannid one is interesting. We're going to have to see the new builds come together before I'm willing to speak to how well we do there, because I'm not sure what their build is now. If they stick with the medium bugs, it's literally exactly the same, but there's less mortal wounds because no Maleceptor, so that's okay. We get a little bit better there. But if they pivot into a bunch of little bugs, I think we get a lot better. I think we get a lot better into them.
Lots of little bugs is going to benefit all the Ravenwing bolters and things with blast weapons. So the Tyrannids. So one Ravenwing big obvious thing is you don't have access to any psychers, so you can't take deny at all. And that does hurt the Nephilim. That does hurt against the Asuryani and Tyranids. But I mean, they can't cast psychic powers if they're dead. So
that's it, my man.
Yeah.
I haven't told you my. So this, for those who need a place to start with with a double outrider build, I should just tell you that I'm just going to tell you a build that works and just fits. It just fits. It fits like it was always meant to.
Okay.
Like this was always meant to be a list that we play. So double outrider. The only two characters is Samael and one Talon Master. 3x3 obsec bikes, 3 thunder strikes. Ravenwing Talon Master, 3 units of 3 multi-melter attack bikes, 3 units of outriders. Perfectly 2,000 points on the nose.
Oh,
Interesting.
Wow. I like that.
Yeah. So it's like it's very tidy. It's a very good place to start when you want to start with. It starts with 2 CP because you spend 1 for Arbiter's Gaze. Not many characters. It's very lean. It's just a lot of units that do good stuff, and you just see how it runs. I'm going to run that list because it's just a very basic, straight up and down, but a lot of little units of moving parts. Like you have 9 units of 3 bikes.
Yeah.
You can be everywhere all the time.
No apothecary, but yeah. So no, I think your movement discipline is really important there. Really important.
Exactly right. If you were somebody who was starting with Ravenwing, you hadn't been playing Ravenwing, it's a good place to start to learn of what's going on with this book, with this build.
Yeah, and you got some punch. 9 multi-meltas definitely does some work. And
exactly right.
Yeah.
Well, and the whole concept is you shoot from the backboard with your thunder strikes, and every turn Sammy does rerolls to hit on a unit of multi-melters, and you send it out, and then all your obsec bikes just flip objectives. While you're doing all this, while you're just doing it, send them out, flip this one. As soon as you go to 6 units of obsec bikes, you can really just start putting 2 on an objective and say, I've got 6 models with toughness 5, all have an invuln, and one of them is going to screen for the other one. You put a unit ring around the other one to screen for the other one, and it starts getting really awkward for them to try to remove, especially if they can't see you to shoot you, because they have to charge and try and charge both, and it's very difficult. But if you ever play in Ravenwing, you have a lot of bolt guns, and if your bolt guns should only be removing obsec models.
Yep.
Like literally, you have a las cannon, sure, shoot the things that las cannon should shoot. Everything else, shoot anything that has the obsec keyword. Even if it's toughness 5, don't care, get them out of there. As soon as you have obsec and they don't, and your obsec moves an infinite amount of inches, the game is just yours.
Yep.
Yeah. Man, I like it. That's good. All right. Well, shall we move on?
All right, so
I think that's like I would love to hear how that goes. Yeah, welcome to come back on another time, and I want to hear.
My pleasure.
So cool.
Oh yeah, I like it. So I believe then that means we're ready for the monthly challenge. Then Heath.
Yep.
All right, so
I did. The Adam's gonna like this. These are Deathwing companions.
Oh yeah.
So last month our challenge was because in honor of Horus Heresy, we're gonna paint a Heresy unit. So I had a 5-man unit of Deathwing companions that have been sitting on my shelf for a while, and I painted them all up, and I actually converted them a little bit because the intent is that they're gonna be Blade Guard.
Blade Guard.
So yeah, because they're a little smaller, but so obviously they're primed. They're not painted yet. I just primed them last night, but yeah. So there you go. That's what I did.
Those models are amazing.
Really nice. Good. Really good looking models.
So they're still in little bits and pieces because I'm trying to find the right magnets. There's I did some magnetizing forever ago with Carnifexes. So I'm kind of waiting to get all the pieces for that because I don't know where they are. I thought I had some, or they're in a box because I'm still in the middle of moving between 3 different places. But I have bits and pieces of these dreadnoughts he sent me for Christmas that I was like,
nice.
So I've got the Contemptor, the classic Betrayal at Calleth one, but I didn't just, if you can see, I got my Ravenwing upgrade sprue out and I put a big logo on there. Then there was a little thing that fit just nicely on the top, so I plopped that on there. And then I put...
it's the right thing to do.
I just started throwing, on all the gun arms, I just started putting Purity Seals because they have the really big ones. Yep. So those look nice. But yeah, I'm going to eventually get to the point where you go into this little bubble, you drill it out, you put the magnet in there. And then the thing that I found that's successful, because I know sometimes people have issues with the polarity getting mixed up when they're doing their magnets. I go to a hardware store and I find little tiny washers that fit up inside the shoulder joints, and then the magnets just go right onto those because they're metal, and there it is. You're done. So I just got to go to a big little hardware store down the street I got to go to.
I have a big piece of sheet metal that I've like used tin snips to cut a little square out, and that's what I never thought of washers. That's actually a really clever idea. I think I'm gonna do that. That's I like it. That's good. Nothing quite as frustrating as watching your putting the magnet in and like get the thing close and watch it literally flip over while it's wet with glue.
Flip.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Yeah.
Is that a Derrideo you had?
That's what I want. So this is my first like Forge World
Nice
model like this ever. So this is I think the last resin thing like this I got the little dwarf guy, which he's not even this kind of resin, but the dwarf guy and the war pig, because I had to have the guy when I went to Warhammer World the first time. I had to get the guy on the war pig because I was like, that's the coolest Billy Connolly's character from The Hobbit. I was like, I have to because Billy Connolly's cool. And it's a war pig.
Yeah.
So this is the first time. It's interesting. It's very soft. I realized I had to be very careful once I got going putting him together that this resin was not the resin that some of the new Lord of the Rings models are made with, and he's soft, and you have to be very careful with him because there are a couple spots where I kind of nicked him, so it's going to be battle damage, but it's definitely a different resin. It's weird because like it's not fine cast, but it's not some of the newer Forge World resin. It's somewhere in between because it's not as brittle. It's soft, but it's not brittle like fine cast is. But no, it's fun.
No, it's good stuff. Like fine cast resin makes me want to do unspeakable things. But Forge World resin, Forge resin's good.
And then of course he sent me the plasma because First Legion. So there you go. We got him.
This is fun.
Only other option would be the Volkite. Nothing else need to apply.
I have the Volkite arms for mine, and that's the reason I haven't glued it together yet, because I keep saying, well, I should magnetize it for the Volkite. And I'm like, am I ever actually going to do that, though? I don't know. But, no. So, the Forge World, when I ordered my Derrideo, Forge World accidentally sent me 2. So I sent one of them to Bailey for Christmas.
Yeah.
So, nice. Yeah. Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, because that's how the whole hobby challenge thing is that we complete our challenges. It goes into the Christmas pot, and then at Christmas we exchange gifts, and so that's how we worked it out. Mm-hmm. So that's why we do this every month, so we get something done and makes Christmas kind of fun. I ended up with like Hawaiian chocolate and coffee, which was pretty fun too. Those were nice. Mm-hmm. My mom liked them too because I was home. All right, so that's the hobby challenge. Do we have one for next month? We spent a lot of time talking about Ravenwing, so I feel like we need to go back and do something Ravenwing now. I don't know what, but
I guess we can do that.
Should.
I guess we can do that.
I'm finishing. I'm gonna be doing my other 5 Black Knights so I can have the full 10. I got 5 done. I'm gonna do another 5.
That was my.
And I got to do it.
That was my 2 week. That was my month last. Was 10 Black Knights. So
how do you guys feel about the Samael model? Because I've converted all my Talon Masters out of the Custodian Blacks, and I feel like if I get the Sami model, it's gonna look weird next to him, the actual Sami model. So I might convert another. Another Custodian Black.
I've seen a lot of Custodian Blacks looked at. Well, one of the things you could do is you could get one of the Forge World like Aganon or whatever, like the long Custody bikes,
Agamata,
the Agamata spikes, and just give it a little bit of
the phallic ones.
I wasn't gonna go there, but we're here. That's cool. yeah.
Storm Speeder, you gonna magnetize it?
Yeah.
You don't even need to magnetize it. It's all loose fit. Yeah. I've just got a tiny little bit of blue tack, and I just put it in, pull it out.
Yep. I didn't even think of that.
Honestly,
I glued mine together.
In all honesty, no one even notices what's on the turret anyway. So it's literally just a front gun is what you need to change. So you can just pull that out, put the multi-melter in.
And if it does fit nice, and upgrade sprue on it, beautiful. Get the upgrade sprue bits on him. It's a beautiful vehicle.
Yeah.
Looks good. Yeah. Yeah. Cool.
For a shoe. It's a beautiful shoe.
Yeah.
Now, that being said, the flight stand for that thing can die on a fire. I hate it.
Yeah.
I'll show you. Actually, I'll be right back. I'll show you boys what I did with mine.
Sure.
So because that thing can absolutely go. Yeah, it's an abysmal piece of work. 1 sec.
Yeah, no worries. I would say with Sammy, you could do what I did, which is about 5 years ago, pay over the odds and buy Pewter 1 off eBay. So mine's a sock mini because he's all pewter, which is also why
I got mine from a friend, and I got mine from a friend, and he had painted it. It's a resin one, but. Oof. So in 8th edition, I always used the Samion jet bike.
Sable Claw.
No, not jet bike. Sammy on Sableclaw, the speeder.
Yeah.
So I had I have like 5 double assault cannon, double heavy bolter land speeders. Because I would do the 3 Talon Masters and 1 Sammy, and just Daka.
Yeah,
So
no, that's a good one.
all right. Let's
He's
give it a
got
second for him to
I'm
come
assuming
back.
he's got some really cool either. So here's some speculating. He's either going to have some cool like 3D printed like fume things coming off the back, like you've seen with the Inceptors,
Okay.
or he's got them mounted on some building. Like imagine that Imperial statue.
If only. That far. You guys are giving me far too much credit there, which thank you very much for. So, okay. So there's the model.
Yep.
There's my boy right there. Yep. See the ball joint?
Yep.
Just drilled it out. Just drilled the whole freaking ball joint out. Who cares?
Okay.
Get rid of it. So there's the actual flight stand. I tried to magnetize it. There was no magnet in the world that was holding it on that angle.
That's true.
So what I did, I just got a big old piece of metal rod, and I cut it there, drilled it through the bottom, so it sits flush at the bottom of the thing, and then I glued the absolute crap out of it. That is just a huge blob of super glue, massive, on both sides. And then then I left that for a full day to cure, and then I just did my putty system. I just puttied like I would usually do to do my basing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then I perfectly did it, so it sits just right in the hole, just slots into the hole, and bada bing, bada boom. And as you can see, it's exactly the same height as the regular flight stand. So there's no modeling for advantage. Everything's exactly the same height. Yeah, I was astonished at how high off the table these things sit. I haven't got it on the jaunty angle. They're so high. They're a little bit lower than a flyer, but they're so much higher than any other speeder.
When I first saw it,
came out really well. It was very.
I thought it was a flight base. Yeah, I thought.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, it's very basic. It's very easy. Looks good. I like it.
Yeah, that's good.
But yeah, of the building and stuff, way too much credit, boys. I ain't got time for that. I got to play events with these bastards. You know, we got to get going right now.
All right,
that works.
Yeah.
All right, so Raven Wing for next month. So going to our community interaction, we had one comment from last month's podcast on YouTube. This is Matthew Wasserman. It says, thanks again for another episode. I know you will address it now that and the Nephilim book is out. Is this the end of Stubborn Defiance? With no to the last also makes the Terminator blobs less ideal. Do you believe the Ravenwing meta is here? And I think if you listen to this episode,
gentlemen, I believe we've addressed this.
Yes.
Yeah.
You will see.
I believe we've addressed this. So,
yeah,
cool.
I think so. I think it's the death of the Deathwing. I would like to experiment with Deathwing with 3x5 or 3x6 blade guard instead of the big blobs, and then just take some other bits and pieces, like play a single Vanguard, but use blade guard to fill out the slots, and then you play MSU blade guard with maybe 1 or 2 bricks, so you can have 6 units of 3 blade guard, like running around being all your little trading pieces, because the 3 big units or 4 big units are just not going to cut it.
I've thought of that.
You just need more stuff.
Take 3 units of 6, combat squad them into 6 units of 3, and then use those. So Charlie Andre, we had him on once, said that he was using 3-man units of blade guard as his like objective sitters. And that is that's not a bad way to live life. So I can't wait to see what somebody comes up with. I can't. Yeah,
me too.
It's a new world.
Exciting.
It's a new world.
I don't think Deathwing is dead. I think Deathwing just needs a whole new reinvention, and I'm just not. I just don't know what it looks like yet. Yeah. It's foreign to me now.
All these plastic contemptors. That's what it's going to be.
Yeah, boy.
Watch this.
Yeah.
Watch
pay
this
those points for the. Pay those points for the Deathwing upgrade, you saucy boy.
All right, so thank you all for listening.
I'll say take the Martial Legacy, also probably dead. Nobody can afford CP for Martial Legacy on Relic Temptors. So maybe Deathwing Redemptors. Deathwing Redemptors.
Yes, that could be a thing.
I could see a Deathwing
200 points square now, I think. Maybe it's 95.
See how we do.
But yeah.
Let's go for it. So thank you all for listening to this month's episode of The Path to Redemption, the Warhammer 40,000 Dark Angels podcast. Our next episode will be out towards the end of July, early August, with the caveat that I'm going back to work at Gen Con, so hopefully we're not trying to record around Gen Con weekend, because I'm going to be... Actually, I live in Indianapolis now, so that's not an issue. Yes! I forgot about that. That's nice. So we'll have So be prepared. Keep your eye out for episodes going forward. Please subscribe, like, and comment below if you're watching us on YouTube or listening on your preferred podcasting service, which Anchor tells me is Spotify. We'd like to thank Purple Planet for the use of their music. And last but not least, we'd like to thank Adam Camilleri for joining us once again. And we look forward to having you on again in the future, sir.
Let's hope my my next couple of tournament appearances warrant another invitation to the Rock.
There we go. All right. And until next time, I'm Bailey from Dank Wargaming.
This is Heath with Table War Hawaii.
Stay loyal, Angels.